Providence Television International, the game changer, taking you to the outer limits of television.
Yeah, welcome to the program Thoughts and Visions of Dr. Emmanuel Egariva. I am Ugbebo Ikekwa.
Well, my name is Emmanuel Egariva. I'd like to welcome you again. But before we start, I think it's important to say this. We have a lot of letters, phone calls from all over the world on a regular basis. Those calls tell us a lot of good things about what we are doing, good things about the station. But on this occasion, I just want to pick out about 6 of them that were particularly, well, I won't say outstanding, but they really touched my heart. And I want to thank, the first one out there is Mr. Andrew Hambamu. He sent in a word from New York in the United States. He told me something I just couldn't believe, that I could just be picked up one day to work at the United Nations, you know, that kind of thing. And I thought I was humbled, maybe from our analysis and things like that. Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you so much indeed. I hope that one of these days you'll be in Nigeria so we can have some close-up discussions. Number 2 there is Engineer Lawrence Idiago. Yes, he's in Benin, the great guy. He's been talking with me on a regular basis, and he says he believes so much in what we are doing. In fact, he says he shares everything with some of his friends, both at home and abroad. He doesn't miss that. So thank you very much, Lawrence. We even spoke a couple of days ago. So, but that's a good one. We really appreciate what you are saying, and we also appreciate your commitment to Providence Television International. Out there, number 3, we have Mecca Okudilidis from Oslo in Norway. That's in Europe. Mecca, we thank you so much. We appreciate all that you said, particularly when the program was trending. We appreciate all of it. In fact, you said you don't need any other outlet, news outlet. Once you get what's trending, you know everything about what's going on back home in Nigeria. That's wonderful, really. Thank you very much, America. Yes, we're going on, moving forward. This is Joseph Odiase in Barcelona, Spain. He's still basking in the euphoria of the Spanish Cup victory at the World Cup. We expect that. He's a Nigerian. He's from Benin City, actually, but he's based in Barcelona. And we want to thank you for all that you said about our program, World Cup Updates. Yes, we appreciate that. And you said we didn't miss any point at all. So, but yes, Spain, they edged Argentina 1-0 in the Cup final. And that's still very much in your memory. But you're also praying, this is important, that one of these days, Nigeria should also be there in the Cup final. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And then we have Jane Asemota, Atlanta, Georgia, a wonderful lady. Jane, thank you very much. From the name you can tell, she's from this part of the country, but she's based in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. Thank you very much, Jane. And you told me that you want some women's programs. Yes, for obvious reasons. You're not being chauvinistic, but yes, one of these days we'll satisfy your yearnings. And I think that will also satisfy a lot of people back home who want us to talk about women's programs. Yes, thank you very much, Jane. Nelson Olusegun from Rome, Italy. This is also a Nigerian from one of the Yoruba-speaking areas, from the name there, Nelson Olusegun from Rome in Italy, also in Europe. Nelson, we thank you very much. We very much appreciate all that you said. You asked a question that when are we going to start radio broadcast? I think it's step by step. We have the television outfit now, but radio is also on the table. We'll start with Providence Radio FM in the not too distant future. So thank you very much, Nelson. Back to you.
Well, today on the program, we will be discussing the African time mentality. And I think for every Nigerian, you all know what we mean by the African time mentality. But for those outside Nigeria, for those abroad, we're talking about a situation where the time for an event, a program, is scheduled for maybe 1 p.m. And then the time that the individuals who are invited to the program, the time they will be leaving their house to even attend will be around 4 p.m. That is what we mean by the African time mentality. Doctor, have you ever been invited to an occasion and then you would expect that at that occasion that yes, guests to be seated, only for you to get there, you'll be the only one there?
I've had a lot of experiences in this, and they are not good experiences, I must say this. But I think that's what even gingered up a program such as this.
Yeah.
Because it has been ingrained into our psyche. It's badly skewed, I must say. It's a very terrible idea. And it is almost totally into our ethos, national ethos, as if it's part of our being. That's the thing that amazes me. And it's nebulous, by the way. It's neither here nor there. Otherwise, you'll be talking of European time, American time, and things like that. This thing started maybe about 20 years ago. And I'm surprised that up till now, we are still grappling with the negative effects of this syndrome, or what you call mentality. You invite somebody for an event scheduled for 2 o'clock.
Yes.
The organizers will tell you it's 2 o'clock. The organizers themselves are not there by 2. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It has happened to me many, many times. I'll give you an instance. There are many instances, but let me just start with this. A friend of mine, he pastors in a church.
Okay.
He invited me for a wedding that had to do with his own daughter. And the time for the event was 11 a.m.
Okay.
As usual with me, I got to the place at 10 minutes to 11.
Okay.
And guess what happened? At 10 minutes to 11, the church was not even opened. It was shut. The gates were shut. And I was wondering, I asked people in the neighborhood, please, do you know of anything happening? Oh, yes, there's going to be a wedding. In other words, the time had not changed.
Okay.
The venue has not changed. But I was there, 10 minutes to 11, nothing. I waited. Incidentally, that time, my driver took me there. So we waited inside the car for some time. At about 11:20, I saw some young ladies strolling in to open the church. Apparently, I think they were ushers or something. They opened the church, and I asked one of them, what's happening? Is the ceremony still taking place? They said, yes, sir. What time did you put there? I said, 11. Why are you coming now?
Okay.
They said, Ogabo, you know African time. I was embarrassed. I was really thoroughly embarrassed. But to cut a long story short, the event did not start until about 12:30 for a wedding, a wedding ceremony. I'll also tell you something that will be of interest to our viewers. This happened in a Catholic church.
Okay.
Yes, I was privy to this. It was not hearsay. I was there. The event was the marriage ceremony in a Catholic church. I won't mention the church, but it happened in a Catholic church. It was for 10 a.m. And usually with the Catholic church, it's part of the training of priests. The priest was ready by 10 minutes to 10. The groom, the young man, was already seated.
Okay.
All the guests were seated. And then we were waiting for the bride. The bride didn't come in until 10:30.
Wow.
It was absolutely ridiculous. And the priest said, well, ladies and gentlemen, this marriage is hereby postponed.
Okay.
We are not going to hold it here. We are not going to hold it today. Please, catechist, where is the catechist? Let them pick another date.
Okay.
And the whole church was in an uproar. Oh, Father, please, we are sorry. No. The young man went into the parish house and they led a delegation to go and plead with him. It was after about 20 minutes that the priest came out. I think he listened to their entreaties and he felt sorry for them, to their appeals and all of that. So he came back. The man started, and it was time for the homily. 95% of the homily was centered on the girl. Said, okay, you, the bride, come forward. Where are your parents? We are here. Oh, come forward.
Okay.
All of them.
Okay.
Parents of the bride and the bride herself. He dressed them down properly.
Exactly.
Yes. 95% of the time meant for the homily. He dressed them down. He said, look, you parents, you are the parents. He said, yes. It means you didn't bring up this girl well. Because if you did, she won't do this. And she should have known that it's a Catholic church. Exactly. We don't play with time. Exactly. We don't play with punctuality. So when you get home, train her properly. Okay? And the girl was in tears. With her gown and all that, she was weeping. And the priest said, no, don't weep. If you want to weep, go and weep at home. Exactly. Yeah, if I didn't tell you this, I would be failing my duties. And a lot of people agreed with the priest. All right, that's another example
Yes.
of what punctuality should mean.
Okay.
I just gave 2 examples now. One, a pastor whose church was shut.
Yes.
Yes, on the day that his daughter was going to marry. It was not good enough. And that's what we talk about African time. The girl, the bride, who got married in the Catholic Church, probably thought of this. African time, oh, they will wait. Who is going to wait? In the Catholic Church, it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Yes, nobody does that.
And so this is actually a matter of discipline.
It's discipline and value system.
Okay.
It has been ingrained in us for so long. So long. In all my activities, and people will bear witness to this, you can also be witness to this. When we were having our anniversary last year, we fixed it, I think, for 11 a.m. or thereabout. By 10:30, I was already at the gate, welcoming guests.
Yes.
Welcoming, because that's the ideal. Sometimes the guests are there before the celebrant.
Exactly.
How do you explain that? And we say it's what do you call it, an African time. What's African time?
Yes.
It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up at all. It brings people into odium. And sometimes even government officials are guilty of this.
Exactly.
And that's why if you ask for this, I will give you right away, if there's going to be any solution. I think we have to bring back something similar to why, war against indiscipline. Because I'm sure that during the time of Idiagbo in those days, this kind of thing will have been reduced considerably. All right?
Yeah.
And I think it can be a matter of legislation.
Okay.
If you go to a place and the people are not ready, you have an avenue. There must be a mechanism to report them.
Okay.
The appropriate authorities that they didn't do it right. So once we take 2 examples from some place, I think there will be sanity.
This issue, like you said even in official matters, it has even eaten deep. This would also bring us to such issues like lateness to the office. You see, yes, lateness to the office, because it is the whole African time thing, and so that means that one way or the other, as regards the economy, it also affects the economy.
Of course, yes. Of course. You have in the offices, government offices is very common.
Okay.
When people who are supposed to play vital roles in dealing with the public, you don't see them.
Exactly.
No, you don't see them. They stroll in at about 9 o'clock, and government officials should report, I think, about 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, yes.
8 o'clock.
8
Yeah.
o'clock.
You won't see them until about 9. You go to the ministries, people are not there until about 9, sometimes 9:30. Okay?
Yes.
Government work.
Yes, exactly.
Government work. When I was in government house in those days, 7:30, 7:45 were there. Not just because we were working with the governor. I mean, all the personaries were there on time. We will wait.
Exactly.
Governor will come at about 8 or 8:15 at most. Sit down quietly. Yes, to receive visitors and to do office work. What do you find these days? What do you find? Directors will not come until about 11.
Exactly.
Yes, and it's unfortunate. We just take things for granted, and all in the name of African time. What is African time? I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's absolute. It just doesn't make sense. It's so ridiculous. You'll find it in office spaces. You'll find it at ceremonies, burial ceremonies, whatever.
That's true.
Social functions.
Social functions.
It's very common at social functions. You invite people for 2 p.m. You are not there. You are the organizers of the celebrant. You are not there at 2. You come in strolling at about 4. You keep people waiting.
Exactly.
It just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up at all. Let me give you another example. When this broadcasting house was going to be, we were preparing for the commissioning.
Yes.
Really. And I went to see, may so continue to rest in peace, the late Bishop Akubeze.
Okay.
I went there personally. Said, my friend, where have you been? I said, Your Grace, I've been very busy. And in fact, it's the reason why I've even come here today. I've set up this TV house. I want you to come and bless it. You pick the time or the date. I said, no. That's within your purview, Your Grace. He said, no, you pick the date. I did. It was a particular Friday.
Okay.
Time, again, he threw it back at me. I said, Your Grace, will 10 o'clock be okay for you? He looked into his diary and said, yes, 10 o'clock will be okay. So I thanked him.
Okay.
Of course, immediately I left there, I went to contact the parish priest at St. Joseph. And the young man said, he must be there since His Grace will be coming.
Yes.
I also told one of the 2 friends, and of course my family members, they were there. 5 minutes to 10, His Grace was there. Bishop Akubeze, silently, no fanfare, nothing. He just came quietly in his car. 5 minutes to 10. We're all watching out. But of course I knew that it would not happen.
Okay.
Exactly 5 minutes to 10, he was there. We ushered him in. He did all that. And he left quietly, no fanfare. He came in his car, only 2 people were there with him, the driver and his personal assistant, just 3 of them. Okay? That's discipline.
Okay.
That's discipline. If you go to any Catholic church, I use the Catholic church as a benchmark because it happens that people know it.
Yes.
They give you, if mass starts at 9, it must start at 9.
Exactly.
With 5 minutes grace or something like that. Yeah, but beyond that, it's not the Catholic Church. No, it's not. I am privy to it because I've seen it work.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of attitude we must carry to the larger society. Yes. It doesn't add up at all. You give people time, and some people are very conscious when it comes to time and when it comes to timekeeping. Particularly when you are playing the role of the chairman of the occasion or the special guest of honor or father of the day and all of that. Be there. I had a book launch some time ago, a book launch and a lecture.
Okay.
The chairman of the occasion was Chief Igbe. It was slated for 10. By 9:45, the old man was there. He was there.
Wow.
He said, look, Emmanuel, what is happening? I said, sir, that's Nigeria for you.
Yes.
I'm here, I'm ready for everything, and you are here as the chairman of the occasion. Then people started strolling in at about 10:30. Oh, the man felt bad. The old man felt very, very bad.
All right. We were talking about, you mentioned one of the solutions, if I remember very well, as in there should be a kind of legislation as regards this issue. How workable do you think that will be in Nigeria?
Well, it may not be workable, but we must start from somewhere because, again, people will say that it's not justiciable. In any case, people will give all kinds of excuses.
Okay.
They must always give excuses. That, oh, this has happened. I called somebody the other day. I was at a function. I said, please, are you ready? I said, please, I'm in the bathroom. Very soon I will dress up. Meanwhile, it was already 1 hour behind time. 1 hour.
Okay.
It was after 1 hour he was dressing up. And he was going to play a very vital role.
Yes.
A very vital role. People were waiting. So I think it's both ways, really. On the organizers or the celebrants.
Okay, yes.
And then, of course, the people who have been invited. Both ways.
Yeah.
But I think that we must do it in such a way that there's a mechanism. Okay. That's why organizations like the National Orientation Agency, such organizations are important. You must drum into the ears and the psyche of our people that it is wrong. If you go to Europe, nobody will wait for you.
Exactly.
Yes, nobody. Because it is not right and it is completely out of sync with norms, societal norms. Somebody will invite you anywhere in Europe or maybe in the US. Somebody will invite you for 12 o'clock and then you are there at 1 o'clock. That's not it. Let me even tell you.
Yes.
My father, may he so rest in peace, old man, when you give him an appointment for, let me say this first. He will give you an appointment for 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We're going to discuss something very important because he was the near warrior of our community.
Okay.
He will give you 10 o'clock. If you are there at 10 minutes past, 15 minutes past 10, 10:15, it was not him you were going to meet. No, you were going to meet somebody else. He will tell you to go back immediately.
Yes.
Yes, it was that blunt. On the contrary, if you invited him for a meeting, I said the meeting is 1 o'clock, by 10 minutes to 1, he was there. He was there. And if the meeting doesn't start by 10 minutes past 1 or 1:15, he will tell the man there who invited him, please, I'm leaving. I have more important things to do.
Exactly.
It was that blunt. Okay, so, but we must ingrain this into our system and into our psyche. And programs such as this, I hope many people are watching, should also tell us that this is the way to go. When you don't keep time, it's the wrong way to go, and it doesn't tell well. First of all, it doesn't even tell well your own person.
Okay.
Yes. It doesn't tell well on your person or your personality. Because when things have started, then you start to stroll in. People will look at you and say, where is this man coming from?
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't tell well at all.
Okay.
Yeah, they might not tell you openly, but they'll grumble and they'll keep some of these comments to themselves, right? And that's negative.
All right, could part of the solutions border on parental upbringing, the home?
Possibly, yes. Possibly. Because it starts from, you are taking children to school. You are a young couple, the man, the husband is taking the child to school. In some cases, even the woman. The school starts by 8.
Yes.
At 7:45 or 8:15, the child is having his breakfast. How do you explain that? And then you get to the school, the gate is shut,
Yes.
naturally, and you begin to quarrel. You begin to quarrel that, oh, no, please, you open the gate. You don't own the school.
Yes.
Because you ought to have prepared your child early enough.
Exactly.
At 6:30, why must a child still be in bed? At 6:30, on a normal day for school work. 7:15, some children are still sleeping.
Very true.
Yes. And you have to go the whole hog of having to drive through traffic and things. And when you get to the school at 8:30, and you do it repeatedly. And then when they quarrel with you, you change the school. They say, no, these people are too harsh. You are going to carry the same mentality somewhere else.
Yes.
Why don't you train that? And the child, because children are very impressionable, really. The child will think that that's the norm.
Exactly.
They grow up with it. That's why parenting is very important in this kind of situation. It is very, very important.
Okay.
Timekeeping is of utmost importance. Punctuality is important. When I get to any occasion, and I discover that even the celebrant is not ready, is 1 hour behind, oh, I get really furious.
Okay.
And I've never hidden my impressions. When the fellow comes, I'll tell him straight to his face, why did you keep people waiting? You think they don't have any other thing
to do?
Yes. Why do you keep them waiting? Must they wait for you? You should wait for them.
Exactly.
Yes, not the invited guests waiting for the celebrant. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Well, I know some people are going to actually pick on me as regards my next statement, because somebody has asked me, what do you have about the, or rather, what do you have with the National Orientation Agency? I'm always talking.
I always talk about it.
Exactly.
What do you call it? That's the acronym anyway.
Exactly.
National Orientation. This has to do with orientation, really. I mean, this kind of thing is within the purview of our national orientation. So that's, that organization, it sounds very funny to me. Because you see, you have to teach people, you have to enlighten people on norms. Lateness, punctuality, environmental sanitation. These are things you need to tell people on a regular basis. Exactly. Work ethics.
Yes.
National orientation. Yes. So that you drive the psyche of the people towards the direction.
Exactly.
But lo and behold, even government is guilty of all of these things we are talking about.
Very, very true. I remember.
Guilty.
Yes.
Yes. You invite an official, maybe representing the governor. Exactly. You are the special guest of honor. He won't come 30 minutes, then he begins to give excuses.
Yes.
Meanwhile, he's representing the governor of the state. And he ought to have been there early enough. And I'll tell you something funny that people do, which I think is not right.
Yes.
The governor is going somewhere, or maybe the permanent secretary or somewhere. You first of all send people to go and look at the place, if they are ready. You know, and it happens quite regularly. You know, an advanced set of people. Oh, go and check if they are ready. That shouldn't be the concern of the governor. If you are given 11 o'clock, the governor should be there.
Exactly.
By 11. If they are not ready, you see them running. Oh, the governor is... They will run head-scatter. They will run. This whole idea of, oh, a top official is coming, for instance. The people are not ready. Let the governor go there and see things for himself. If the people are not ready, cancel that. Cancel your attendance.
Okay.
They will learn from there.
Exactly.
They will learn.
And so, in this light, I believe the religious leaders, because, much as I'm a Catholic, but it's not as if I'm setting the Catholic faith down. The Catholic, it's peculiar with the Catholics.
It's peculiar because it's discipline.
Yes, they keep to time.
They keep to time. It is discipline. You have to be disciplined. If the mass is 8 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock.
Exactly.
Yes. You can't obliterate it.
And so, do you think that the religious leaders, other religious leaders, the Muslims and all that they still have a problem as regards this issue of orienting, or rather giving orientation?
Yes. You can see now you're coming back to what I was saying.
Exactly.
Orientation. You tell your people.
Yes.
Tell the congregation. Sometimes what do you find? In most of these other churches, the service starts at 10.
Exactly.
At 10:15, they are arranging drums. I've seen it. I've seen it many. They are arranging drums, and the thing is supposed to start by 10. Yes. Drum kits. It's not they will be rehearsing.
Yes.
And then people start to come at about 11. And now suppose you have a visitor. You have invited a visitor. Please come and join me in Thanksgiving or something.
Yes.
The visitor gets there by right at about 10 o'clock. He begins to wait. It has happened to me. Many times. It has happened to me. I just gave an instance. Yes.
Well, Providence Television International, these are the kind of issues that we usually deal on, because we are out there to educate you. on this note, please, I want to make this appeal to you, our wonderful viewer out there. We need your comments, especially on a topic like this.
Yes.
And then after listening to this program, also try to tell people about the ills associated with the African time mentality. The parting shot from the CEO.
Well, the parting shot will not be different from what I've been saying. It starts from the home.
Okay.
Yes. Schools, workplaces. It has to do with work ethics when you talk about workplaces, work ethics. The director in charge, the director is a director. He's in charge of a whole conglomeration of people under him. He doesn't come to the office until 10. People under him will not come until about 11. And you ask them, oh, the director will not be there until about 10. So there's a latitude.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
And it's wrong for a psyche. It is very, very wrong. The churches also have a role to play.
Okay.
They should take a cue from the Catholic Church. I keep talking about the Catholic Church because that will appear to be the standard. Okay? I've been to many churches. So many churches, maybe attending it could be funeral or Thanksgiving or whatever. The same strand runs across most of these churches. The same strand. But the Catholic Church is different because it has a template.
Yeah.
It has a template. If what I'm saying now is wrong, let viewers, let them go to any Catholic church on Sunday and they will bear me out on what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yes, they will bear me out
Exactly.
as witnesses.
Yes.
Yes. But you go to some other places, is the same kind of orientation. It should start from the church leader.
Okay.
The church leader himself does. Even when he knows that the time for the service is 10 o'clock, himself and his wife, they're strolling at about 11.
Yes.
I have seen it. They're strolling at about 11. And yeah, the time of it, in fact, it's even placed at the notice board. Sunday service, 10 o'clock. If you're not sure of it, then you remove it. Why mislead people? Because there might be people who might just be willing to come at 10 o'clock in the morning because they have seen it on your notice board.
Yes.
Sunday service, 10 o'clock. You put it there. If you know you are not going to abide by it, for goodness sake, remove the board. Remove the board. It doesn't add up. So that's the way it is.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming. Well, like I said earlier on, I want to appeal to you. Stay tuned to Providence Television International. I want to still say that we'll keep on giving you such quality programs. On this note, I want to say have a wonderful weekend.